Hello, hello, hello. You're tuning into another episode of The Wunderkind Show. Today's first topic. Lamar talking points. There's a reason why I said it like that. And because usually what you guys get is from what, debates and arguments that I have with either content creators or other people that I might come to head with, on a topic. And the topic that was talked about, of course, was this time, because, NFL season just started, was Lamar Jackson. And they said, and I'm not going to call the person out, but I'm going to tell them what they said. They said, look, he's good. I mean, y'all make it seem like he's top 3, but he's good and everything. But he got one MVP, whoop-de-doo, and you guys might not even ever win a Super Bowl with him. And I said, look, for one, you're downplaying his significance, his importance, and his impact. And I specifically said, look, if Lamar wins the Super Bowl this year, right, because of the storylines, he most likely will win MVP. And I said, if he wins MVP and the Super Bowl this year, he's an automatic Hall of Famer. If you saw the look that this person gave me, he said, no, he's not. I said, yes, he is. He said, no, he's not. I looked at him and I said, yes, he is. And he said, how do you figure? And I said, look, Lamar's already part of a very, very small, minute portion of the NFL that has won an MVP, right? That pool gets smaller for multiple MVP winners. And it gets even smaller for multiple MVP winners that won a Super Bowl. If Lamar Jackson this season, or even let's say next season, wins a title or gets an MVP, another MVP, he is automatically a Hall of Famer. Get his gold jacket prepared, ready, pressed, and already done for his induction ceremony. It's the same thing with Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes is already a Hall of Famer. A lot of people will not like that. Like, no, he has to play longer. No, he does not. No, he does not. I'll give you 2 words. Kurt Warner. And just to let you show this, Patrick Mahomes is a 2-time Super Bowl MVP, a 2-time league MVP, and he's a 2-time champion. He's an automatic. He's already in the Hall of Fame. Patrick Mahomes can have a precipitous drop every year after this. He's already in the Hall of Fame. He's there. He is there. A lot of people are going to be like, no, Nitro, no. I'm going to read something to you because, like I said, see, when I have debates with people, I like to have all my ducks in a row because then I can hit them back with proof. You know what I mean? And when I know I'm in a debate, like when I know I'm going into a debate, I have all my ducks in a row. Because that's how I like to argue things. I argue based on facts, and I have things to back up those facts. Okay? So, do you know, I'm going to read this to you. Mahomes is only the 10th player, the 10th, to win multiple MVP awards. He's joining, check this out, Jim Brown, Hall of Famer, Johnny Unitas, Hall of Famer. Joe Montana, Hall of Famer. Steve Young, Hall of Famer. Brett Favre, Hall of Famer. Kurt Warner, Hall of Famer. Peyton Manning, Hall of Famer. Tom Brady, Hall of Famer. Aaron Rodgers, going to be a Hall of Famer. So that's where my argument went. That's where my argument went. I said, even if Lamar doesn't win another MVP, but he wins the title and gets a Super Bowl MVP, he's a Hall of Famer. Because it would, if he wasn't, it would set a precedent that has never been done in NFL history. See, that's why I like this stuff, because then I got to bring history into it. You get where I'm coming from? There's been a slew of MVPs. Slew of them. And almost every single one has made or has been inducted into the Hall of Fame. Or is on a trajectory to get into the Hall of Fame. That's number one. But MVPs that even if they won one but got a Super Bowl 2, that pool, I'm talking about one of one. That means he doesn't even have to win an MVP. One more, a Super Bowl and a Super Bowl MVP puts him in rare air. Rare air. Listen, you can win a Super Bowl MVP and we're never considered the best player ever. Case in point, Eli Manning. You get, like, there's been quarterbacks that were not the best quarterback or best player in the NFL to win Super Bowls and to win Super Bowl MVPs. You got where I'm coming from? But it's a difference when you're considered the best player of that year. Patrick Mahomes has been the best player twice. Aaron Rodgers was it, what, 4 times? Peyton Manning, what was it, 4 or 5 times? Tom Brady, like 3 times? Like, so you get where I'm coming from? So it's one of those things where when I say it kind of gets under people's crawling like, no, he's too young. People forget. This is Lamar's 6th year. Lamar is in the better half of a decade already playing in the NFL. Y'all realize that. That's why I was so adamant on the Ravens wasting his rookie contract. Because it wasn't 1 year. It wasn't 2 years. It wasn't 3 years. It was 4 years. Think back real quick. Rewind the time. Rewind your brain. Rewind the memories. What you were doing 5 years ago. Think about how long 5 years ago was. My daughter was born 5 years ago. She's already in school, acing multiple reading tests. She couldn't talk. Now she talking, having conversations and everything. 5 years is a long time. He's already been in the NFL. This is 6th year. He's going on his 6th year. Remember, he played on his 5th year option. That's crazy, right? But that tries to give you somewhat of a barometer about where my jumping off point is. Look, I know a topic like this is going to ruffle feathers because I remember when Chad Ochocinco put on the Hall of Fame jacket, was walking around saying, I'm inducted, and people was like, no, you not. But everything isn't cut the same. Context is always needed. Like, if you were going to come up and say Ochocinco as an argument with me, guess what? He's a wide receiver. There is a plethora of great wide receivers that have still yet to make. Not good, great receivers that have yet to make the Hall of Fame. We're not talking about good. We're talking about great receivers. Receivers that were considered the best receiver in the game for multiple seasons, and they're not even right now sniffing the Hall of Fame. It's not the same for quarterbacks. It's not. It's just not. On top of that, Lamar owns a plethora of NFL records. On top of it, you can't tell the NFL story without him. This is why I hope he wins. This is why I'm praying so bad he wins. Because I'm going to get to stuff it down the throat of everybody that hates on him and say, you know you're talking about a Hall of Famer, right? You know you're talking about one of the greatest players to ever play the game, right? Because that's the only way you make that Hall of Fame. That's the only way. To show you how crazy it is. There's only been like 3 people to win it over 3 times or over 2 times. If I'm not mistaken, I think it's like 3 people have won it over 2 times. Yeah, look at it. Peyton Manning got 5. Jesus. Let's see. Brett Favre. There's 4 players that got 3 MVP awards currently. Brett Favre, Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, and Aaron Rodgers. That's it. Now imagine if Lamar, with these weapons, goes hammer. I'm talking hammer, 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 hammer. They put me in the mix. Hammer, hammer, hammer. And absolutely goes bonkers on this season against the MVP. Then, even if he didn't win the Super Bowl, there is no players that are 2-time MVPs, regardless of Super Bowl, that is not in the Hall of Fame. I realize that, right? So that's what I'm saying. Like, This is why when I have the conversation with the Joe Burrows and everything else, there's no talking. It's not close. Lamar is on the precipice of being an early Hall of Fame candidate. People forget the Bengals have already had an MVP quarterback in Richard Esiason. However you say his name. People forget that. The Bengals already had a MVP QB. This is why we go so hard for somebody like him, because and the crazy thing is, I've said that even if he wins this one, it won't stop the noise. Lamar would have to win 2 to stop the noise. But when it comes to being a Hall of Famer, Lamar would be in. Think about it. Think about his resume. If Lamar Jackson wins the MVP and the Super Bowl this year, Lamar Jackson will be a 2-time league MVP, a Super Bowl champion, a Super Bowl MVP. He'd have the rushing what's it called? The rushing record for QBs under his belt. He'd also have a Heisman under his belt. Like, you're talking about a Hall of Fame career from college all the way to the pros. And his win percentage is absolutely magnifico. We're not even going to talk about all the stuff that he's accomplished before the age of 25, because there's a whole plethora of records before then. You see what I'm trying to say? You get where I'm coming from? But what do you guys think? Do you think right now that if Lamar Jackson wins the Super Bowl this season, gets an MVP, and wins the Super Bowl MVP, is he an automatic Hall of Famer? Let me know down in the comment section. I'm going to tell you something right now. A lot of people might not want to hear it, but he is. He surely is. And that's another episode of The Wunderkind Show. Thank you for watching. You know how we get down. We have fun and we laugh, but everything we talk about rooted in what? Facts and truth. Please do remember, like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, leave a comment. You know I love the comments. And before we end the channel, I just want to say, you know, I'm in Florida. You know, whoever else is watching this who was in Florida also, please, please get ready for this hurricane called Idalia. Yes, I was in the midst of it, me and my family, my church and everything, when Ian hit. The amount of damage that Ian did, and they're saying that this thing can intensify to a Cat 4. Please go get supplies, get some boards and stuff to board up your windows, and if you're gonna leave, make sure that you have everything set. Do not take this lightly. And for all the people that are not in Florida but see us in Florida, please pray for us, because I'm telling you right now, the first hurricane was not easy, and it stopped me from putting out, I think, a day and a half worth of content. I had to drive miles, like out of town, just to get internet to upload vids. And there was a lot of families that went without food, without shelter, without water. So please keep Florida in your prayers. All right. But like I said, if you have not already done so, please check out the Wunderkind Show's Patreon. You can check it. 3 tiers of content you get that you get when you subscribe or become a patron. And if you would want to donate to the channel to help with new equipment and stuff like that, bottom of the screen, QR codes to a Cash App. Cash App located in the description of every video that we do, and the name of it is $, The Wunderkind Show. Real easy. But once again, this is The Wunderkind Show. This show is Nitro signing off, and as always, you guys know my slogan. Peace. And I am out of here. You're